Unawake Radio presents The Center with your host, DC Radical One.
Greetings, friends, family, enemies, and allies. I'm your host, DC Radical One, and you have entered the center. Shout out to our wonderful producer, Cindy Ashby, who, among other people, got me on this journey into making live content on YouTube. So let's see who we have tonight, because tonight's discussion, I think people will be interested in, but we shall see. BB for ODA to Brother You Got Ripped Off, Straight Black Pride to Sister Fonessa, greetings to John Public, Peace and Black Power to Black Revolutionary Now, and I guess I should throw the banner up so people know who we are and what we are doing, and also add some music to the mix. Not gonna lie, but intro music now gets me hyped, and I wish I actually had that loaded up, but I do not. I don't know. Y'all want to go with blues or y'all want to go with this? It's up to y'all. Let's see who else we got in the building. Did I greet Black Revolutionary Now? If not, peace and black power to you. Greetings to Sister Nepataria. Greetings to Lee Clinton, BB for ODA to Sister Simone. So, got a good little opening crowd. Hopefully, oh, my bad. My apologies. Yeah, I'm totally, because I can't even hear it, but I see that my levels are off. Yeah, okay. Thank you for that, brother. My apologies. Sound levels were way off. And now that we got that together. So tonight's discussion is it's simple. Yeah, my bad. The question is, have black men had enough of turning the other cheek? Before they brother Elijah. And of course, this is based upon recent events. We had, of course, the Karmelo Anthony case. Started off with that. And before they Straight Black Pride, Kevin Austin. And I was in Texas. Then we had the situation with brother Rodney Hinton was assassinated by the police, and his father, Rodney Hinton, just said, "I'm just not going out like that." That's what he said. And now we have a recent situation where they're trying to act like this young man is some upstanding citizen. Maybe he was, but all I know is you don't go knocking on people's door at 3 a.m. It's just, out in the middle of nowhere in Virginia. And we had a brother out there who assumed that somebody was trying to break in because he lives in the middle of nowhere in Virginia. And if you know anything about Virginia, once you get past the quote unquote liberal areas where people make money in Washington, once you get past those areas and you're black, yeah, you better have your firearm. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, if you go out there, you see you'll see, it's integrated. You'll see Hispanics and different types of Asians like Indians and so forth, so on. You get all that. You'll see all that. Make no mistake, like you start getting out in Spotsylvania County and all those places like that. That's Klan country that's just been recently like upgraded, but it's still Klan country. So the idea that you live out there and you hear somebody banging, when you hear somebody banging, your first thought is for you to do some banging, and that's what happened, right? But unfortunately, the brother's in jail now. Virginia is one of those states. All right, let me explain how Virginia is, right? I can't hear the music at all. So is the music good? The level's good? Because I can't hear it at all. Like if I change it, I'll probably be able to hear it. Like if I go blues, I should be able to hear it. Well, or not. Okay, now I can hear it. All right. Anyway, so let me explain Virginia from the perspective of a Washingtonian or anyone north of, well, I'll say east and north of Washington. Virginia, since I've been growing up, is the place you go during the day, or you drive through to continue south at night. That's it. Like this whole going out to hang out in Virginia thing was not really a thing. And the reason why, greetings to RBG Fatah, the reason why is because the police were out there. Now, when it comes to firearms, Virginia was the place that always had the gun shows. As long as I can remember, Virginia always had the gun shows. Did they have gun shows in Maryland? I'm sure they did, but I just always remember if you were going to get a firearm and your homeboy's like, hey, yo, they got a gun show in Virginia. You know what I'm saying? You always went to Virginia. But the question was, like, say you live in Virginia. At the time, DC's gun laws were just like draconian. So if you lived in Maryland, the question is, can I purchase something nice in Virginia? Yes. Can I make it back to Maryland without being arrested? Possibly. You know what I'm saying? Like anybody will tell you. You know what I'm saying? Because the police in Virginia is just it's a different thing. It's a commonwealth. They got their own laws. They do their own thing. They're very loose with their firearms laws, but how those laws are enforced against black people, hey, that thing's always been up in the air. So when you hear about people wanting to move to Virginia, they'll talk about, depending on where it is, at the time, the cost of living, the neighborhoods are nice, the gun laws, but that whole police thing and some of the other stuff, you know what I'm saying? So that's how I've always seen Virginia and a lot of people. Like back in the day when they built Pentagon City, yeah, would I like to go out to Pentagon City and shop? Absolutely. During the day. You know what I'm saying? Am I just gonna randomly hang out there at night? Not past a certain, like there's like literally is like a psychological barrier of going over that bridge to Virginia. If you grew up in DC or in PG County, and if you grew up in Montgomery County, you really, at that point, Virginia was like out of the way. If anything south of like the Arlington, Alexandria area, anything south of that, that's just the South. Like that's another state. Like your brother talking about Norfolk, like Norfolk and all that is like a different state from it's like a different state from Northern Virginia. Like Northern Virginia is like suburban DC, and then you got the country, Clan Virginia, and then you got where black people live, Virginia, like where Allen Iverson grew up and people like places like that. That's how we saw it. So it's just like suburbs where people don't really like you, clan country, black people. you know what I'm saying? Like that's, you know what I'm saying? That's how you looked at it, and that's how you planned. That's how you planned it out. You're like, okay, we're gonna go to North Carolina, which means we have to go through a certain part of Virginia to get to North Carolina. But then when you get to North Carolina, you're also in North Carolina, right? You know what I'm saying? So that's how we saw it. So when I saw the situation, now I'm thinking, and I didn't even mean to start with that case, right? I meant to start with the Karmelo Anthony case, but this case is local, and this was the most recent case. My thought was, I completely understand. In fact, let me see if I can bring the article up. I guess I'll just start there. I completely understand, and this is what is this, NBC4? I completely understand the brother's reaction. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Somebody's banging on your door. What are we talking about? You know what I'm saying? Amazon is not banging on your door at 3 o'clock in the morning, right? No one has called you to say, hey, I'm coming over. It's an emergency. If you work regular hours, you've been asleep. It's possible you've been asleep for 4 hours. You don't know what's going on. But whatever it is, it's not good. Because they didn't knock on his door. They said they basically kicked the door, which from the perspective of any person, any sane person in here, any person in here. If someone kicks your door at 3 a.m., your natural reaction is to think that someone is trying to kick down your door because it's 3 a.m., right? And if you're in Virginia, you're probably, and I believe he was in Spotsylvania County or something, you probably own a couple of firearms. And your first instinct is, oh man, somebody trying to kick in my door. I'm gonna have to call the police after I shoot. That's, you know what I'm saying, right? Now, people don't think of it like, if I say that happened in Texas, everybody, right? If you say it happened in Texas, all the non-black people will be like, okay, I understand that. Okay, Virginia's the same thing. Don't let the northern part that's near DC fool you. It's the South, and the reaction is the same. So my whole thing with these cases is, this man is locked up for defending his home because he had no way of knowing that someone was not trying to break into his home. Because why? It's 3 a.m. And what am I going to do? Wait for you to come in and shoot me first? Absolutely not. That's not going to. No, it's not going to happen, right? That's not going to happen. So I opened with the question of, our brother's tired of turning the other cheek. But in each one of these cases, there were circumstances where each person had a reason. There was a circumstance where I can justify, or I can at least understand their actions. I won't say justify. Sister Farnessa, I always thought, I didn't think Virginia was a stand your ground state, but I think it is. Like, I think they do have like the castle doctrine. So like, and I really need to look it up because I'm not 100% sure, but I don't think they have, like, because some states have a, what do they call it? But it's something, duty to retreat, something like that. Right? I know Virginia's not one of those. Ain't no way. It's no way. Because their gun laws been way too loose for you to be able to get an arsenal and then be like, oh, but by the way, you got a duty to retreat. No. And people sitting around like, their gun case look like John Rambo or John Wick, and so I know it's not one of those, but is it like Florida where it's just like, man, you just shoot the person and call them to get the body? I don't think it's that. I think it's in the middle of those two. So, but I'm not 100% sure. Now, what y'all want me to start with the Virginia case since I started with the Virginia case, or y'all want me to go back and actually do it? Is and RBG said it is a stand your ground. That's what I figured. I figured it was a stand your ground, but I figured it was a castle, which I think is less than the stand your ground. The stand your ground just like shoot first, call the coroner second, basically, right? And the reason we all learned about that, of course, was because of Trayvon Martin. So, whichever case y'all want to start with, we'll start with that one. My intention was, before we got started, was to start with the Karmelo Anthony case because it was the first one. But I guess since we started in Virginia, let's go to Virginia. Because I don't, maybe some people that aren't actually familiar with the case. So this is News 4 Washington. And I'm trying to think, were they out there? Man, I don't watch enough news anymore to know. But when I for those that saw it, when I did the video from the Supreme Court with the Supreme Court case, I think that was News 4. That was like their camera was right, their big professional camera, and of course they had a big brother carrying the camera while the other gentleman did the news. I think that was their camera that was right beside mine, and they did ask a question. So, by the way, if you haven't watched that video, man, check that video out. I think I did a pretty excellent job, and it didn't get a lot of views, and I took that personally. But but yeah, you can check that out. That's like a 20-minute. It's like a 20-minute video. Before the straight black pride, straight black sock. So, all right, y'all say go to Virginia. We're gonna start with Virginia. All right, cool. So, Virginia homeowner arrested on murder charge in teen's death with possible TikTok tie. I'm gonna just say this: if there are any young people that happen to come across this stream, I'm gonna just say this: everybody ain't playing. It's all fun and games to do these pranks and jokes and all this. Everybody ain't playing. I forgot there was another case, and I think I can't remember it was in Virginia. I can't remember if the guy was Asian or I can't remember, but they were trying to do some prank in a mall, and he didn't know what was up, and he just pulled out a firearm and shot the dude. Fortunately, it wasn't a serious wound, and people made a big hullabaloo about it. And you want to know what the judge said? They were like, "Hey, you had a reason to fear for your life," and that was it. So I'm gonna just tell the young people, these pranks and jokes and this stuff that you think is haha and funny. Let me explain something to you. Life out here right now, it's not good. It's like a lot of people are not doing well, not feeling well, and they're not in the mood to play any games. So while you laughing it up and keying, these people are not playing, right? We're in serious times. So think first, because everybody is not playing. All right, so let's get to the article, because I didn't plan to be here all day. It says a homeowner was arrested on a murder charge. Wow. After authorities say he shot and deleted an 18-year-old in Spotsylvania County, Virginia. The teen's friends told investigators the man opened fire as teens recorded themselves pulling a prank for a TikTok video. Tyler Chase Butler, 27, so he's a relatively young brother, And he got to have some decent money. He got to be doing well for himself to have a nice home out there where he is. Was arrested and accused of second-degree murder, malicious wounding, and use of a firearm in the commission of a felony, the county sheriff's office said. Butler is accused of deleting Michael Bosworth Jr., a senior at Massaponax High School. He played lacrosse and football and wrestled. His heartbroken stepfather told News 4. See, I was going to say something. About fathers and everything, but I'm going to leave it alone. Have I greeted everybody? If I have not greeted you and you snuck in while I wasn't paying attention, for you 4 days straight, Black Pride. Now, back to this. It says, as News 4 reported after the shooting at about 3 a.m. Look, I'm going to ask y'all a question. And y'all tell me, is anyone supposed to be knocking on your door that you don't know at 3 a.m. or kicking your door at 3 a.m.? Like, first of all, what is an 18-year-old doing just wandering around random neighborhoods at 3, or is he 17 or 18? Either one, at 3 a.m. Like, you should be getting ready for prom. You should be getting ready for graduation. You should be getting ready for college. You know what you should not be doing? You should not be kicking on someone's door at 3 a.m. That's what you should not be doing. But hey, sometimes you got to learn the hard way. Oops, my bad. Gonna get back to it. It says now, the homeowner told investigators Bosworth and 2 other teens were trying to break into his home on McKenzie Lane. And that makes perfect sense. The sheriff's office received a call about a residential burglary in progress in which a resident had fired shots. Bosworth was taken to the hospital, but he did not make it. One of the other teens who was grazed by a bullet told detectives that they weren't breaking in to steal anything. The teen said they were recording ding-dong bitch pranks for TikTok videos, ringing doorbells and running away. But that's not what happened. They kicked the door. They didn't ring his doorbell. A detective tracked down the third teen who was not shot. The teen gave the same account and offered his phone to show a similar video shot earlier that night. But again, that video does not prove what you did tonight. It says Bosworth was shot hours before his school's prom. Butler is being held without bond at Rappahannock Regional Jail. Anyone with potentially relevant information is asked to contact the sheriff's office. Who is going to have relevant information about what happened at 3 a.m.? Right? Like, that doesn't even make sense. So instead of getting ready for the prom, okay, no, that's the wrong one. Let me see. Is this one? Nope, that's the wrong one. Okay, I guess that's the only article I got for this. Anyway, but nah, look. You should have been getting ready for your prom. You should have been with your girl. You should have been, there's a lot of stuff you should have been doing. But you know what you should not have been doing at 3 a.m.? Kicking that man's door. See, this is one of those things where, because people don't have the perspective of what Black people go through, they don't understand how we'll react to something as opposed to somebody else. Again, this man, even though he's 27, so he's not old enough to remember, he knows where he lives in Virginia. Trust me. He got an uncle or somebody that's like, hey, man. He's like, yeah, man, I found this house and I live out in Spotsylvania. Well, what? Excuse me? Yeah, no, I'm going to live out in Spotsylvania. Wait. You're moving voluntarily to this place. Yeah, man, me and my girl with you. Are you sure? Like, no, man, the price of... You're like, okay. Like, you got your firearm? Like, yeah, I got one. You only got one? Right? It's like, all right, so see, let me explain to y'all something. Right? It's certain places that I still don't go in the quote unquote DMV, even though they've been gentrified. And I'm gonna explain why, right? So in the late 90s, early 2000s, right? they were building some houses. I think it was Accokeek, Maryland, I think, or maybe Clinton, but southern Maryland, right? South of PG County, like what is that, St. Mary's or Charles or whatever, one of those counties. So they were building, again, this is like the early 2000s. So I'm not talking about the 60s. They were building houses out there, right? And they burnt down the houses. They burnt down the construction. They're like, no, you're not building houses out here for those folks. It's not gonna happen. Again, this is what, maybe an hour outside of the nation's capital, right? Like, again, Maryland was a slave state. So when people be trying to go to these random places outside of the city to live because it's nice quiet neighborhood or whatever, man, that's all well and good, man. But all I think about is how much clan country is between you and the city. That's all I think about. I don't think about none of this other stuff. I'm sorry. You know what I'm saying? Maybe I'm old. You like, oh man, you just, bruh. I don't believe none of this stuff. Look at the racial animosity that has come up since Trump has come back. And it ain't even, it's just that Trump is back and they like, good, now we can act a fool. The people who've been waiting to be racist and the people who've been, man, listen. This idea that everything has changed since whenever, I don't believe it. This is what the conclusion I have come to, right, wrong, and different. In America, you simply have cycles, right? And I'll give you a perfect example. We never look at this. Reconstruction is the perfect example of how it works. For 12 years after enslavement, Black people had their own towns, farms, businesses, everything you can name. Senators, congressmen, judges, everything in that 12. We went from being completely enslaved to having every position you can have in this country short of the presidency in a 12-year span. And after that, they enacted laws that held us back in the South for 80 years. You see what I'm saying? So 12 years of prosperity followed by 80 years of legal oppression. Right? So why would we think anything has changed? Brother, you got ripped off. Said, hold on. You've been talking about this energy coming for the country for 2 years, brother. Yeah. So we don't look at it that way. 12 years followed by 80 years of everything you can think of to keep Black people down. Right? The Jim Crow laws, the what they call it, slavery by another name. Like, remember we talked about sinners with, I guess, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, whatever, right? I told y'all that scene reminded me of the movie Life. They minding their business. I forgot what they were trying to do in life. Next thing you know, they on the chain gang down in, I don't even remember where they were, wherever, for the rest of their life. And Sinners, that brother, he knew the brothers on the chain gang. The chain gang, they just told us the chain gang was prisoners. The chain gang was neo-slavery. People were getting locked up for loitering and vagrancy and you ain't got an ID and all this old wild stuff, right? So they was in Mississippi, and I've started to say Mississippi, but it's so stereotypical, sister. I ain't want to say that. You know what I'm saying? Like we always throw dirt on Mississippi. You know what I'm saying? Because Alabama's right next to them, and Louisiana ain't that far behind. So that's why I don't always throw Mississippi. So anyway, but yeah, in the movie Sinners, like, you know, they showed that. And when I was growing up, I just thought if these were prisoners, I didn't know these were people that were being re-enslaved and they were being sent out and loaned out to these places, what they call a convict lease and all that. I didn't know any of that. Brother, you got ripped off, says Black Liberation Movement. We don't trade buildings for bodies. No more twerking in front of the oppressors or pandering for approval of the folks. Brother, it's funny you said that, but I wasn't even going to talk about you're gonna make me find that video and show it. Listen, I'm gonna just be completely honest. If I come to your rally or your organization is having something and you trying to raise money for a brother or something like that, whatever, and you got some dudes out here gyrating around in front of the cops, I'm gonna film it, I'm gonna leave, I'm gonna post it, and I'm gonna talk about you like a dog. That's what I'm gonna do. I ain't got time for none of that stuff, bro. At all. Thank you for that. Thank you for that super chat, brother. It's over for that. It's over for that. Those days, that's over. That's dead. People are tired. Black people are tired. For some weird reason, I'm hearing that white people are tired. What they call it? Black. Anybody know what I'm talking about? They saying white people saying they got black tiredness syndrome or something. I don't know what they talking about. Right? Like, you don't have to interact with us, so I don't see what the problem is. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, we can easily solve this problem if there's some type of black fatigue, which I don't understand. Turn off the NFL, turn off the NBA, which nobody's even watching the NBA anymore. Watch hockey and go about your lives. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to turn on the TV and see any black people. So I don't understand what white people are tired of. Like, we're not. Look, if it's any people that's just bogarting their way over there and trying to be amongst y'all, do with them what you will. Okay? Because those ain't our folks. Those people have declared themselves. BB Bodie, Straight Black Pride, Tony Campbell. But see, here's the reality of the situation. Oh, brother, yeah, man, listen. They can go to Vermont, South and North Dakota. There's just literally nobody there but a couple of native tribes. Well, in Vermont, nobody's there. Straight Black Side, you said racial battle fatigue postulated by William A. Smith, University of Utah. Racial battle fatigue? Man, seriously? They think they're tired? If they think they're tired, how tired are black people? Like, we are exhausted, right? Like, black people in the West are like the Kenyan long distance runners. Just because they have the stamina to win the race don't mean they're not exhausted at the end of the race. You know what I'm saying? So this idea that these people are tired, I guess tired of black people. You know, Obama was 15 years ago. What you tired of? Like, I really need anyone to explain to me what they're tired of, when we've been the ones getting kicked in the shins for decades. Like, right? Now, I know I've gone completely off the rails, but it is what it is. Let's think about this, right? Oh, okay, bro. You say racial battle fatigue refers to us. Okay, cool. Yeah, that makes more sense. But let's think about this, right? So we have, if we just start with 1776, right? Which enslavement is still going on. Okay, so there's a chance for America to be like, you know what? Let's not start off our country like this. But they did. All right, cool. Got about 90 years of that, right? Again, I said you got your 12 years of relative progress. Then you got 80 more years of Jim Crow. Greetings to Sidney G and who else came in? And Bola. Right? So you got 12 years of relative peace, 90 years of Jim Crow. Then you got the fight for either rights or liberation, depending on what side you're on, because really we had two movements. There's this idea that we have one movement, but no, we had two movements. Largely speaking, we had the Martin Luther King civil rights movement, and we had the Malcolm X, Nation of Islam, Black Panther Party, Black Liberation Army, Republic of New Africa movement on the other end, right? So literally two different movements. But even with those movements, you had counterintelligence programs. After all of that, right, with brothers, you know, many brothers lost their life or were locked up and lost their life, or locked up then lost their life. Yeah. Some combination thereof, right? I saw a picture last week. I couldn't believe it. I stumbled upon it. In a museum with it. I mean, it was like off in the cut, and I was about to leave. I don't know what made me even go down this corridor. And I was shocked because it had a picture of Stokely Carmichael. At the time, he was Stokely Carmichael. And at the time, H. Rap Brown. And I was shocked because I was like, the brother's still locked up. Imam Jamil Al-Amin is still locked up. He's got to be 80 years old by now. And they still will not let him out. See, they don't forgive or forget, even if it's a question of whether you did it. Imam Jamil Al-Amin, I don't believe is in jail for what they said he's in jail for. He's in jail because he refused to bow down ever. He just went and just changed to he just became a Muslim. You know what I'm saying? He just became a black revolutionary Muslim. That's the only thing that changed. But he never bowed down, right? And he was in Atlanta. He was doing good work in the community. From everything that I had read, some type of situation happened with an officer or whatever, because it's not really clear. And now he's been underneath the jail, right? And so I was so shocked, and it was so late. I didn't even take a picture of the picture. And here, okay, so I'll tell y'all where I was. It was the National Portrait Gallery, which is a building that takes up a whole block, right? And so it just, has all these pictures from and some photos and paintings from some of them 200 years old, maybe more than that. We're talking about some of them some of the paintings go back to the 1700s, and it has all this different type of art and these different floors and all this different sections and all this stuff. And I realized, because I actually have been twice, I realized that Second time I went, I didn't. It was stuff that I didn't even know was there, like whole sections I didn't know was there. I don't know if I just never went to that section, or as somebody who's become a museum goer, because the museums in DC are free. You know, if you wait long enough, they do change out the exhibits. So you can't see totally different stuff. You just come around the corner and be like, what is this? I was talking to somebody. They was like, oh yeah, no, we just, yeah, that's what happened. He said they just opened that section and that they're going to expand it. There's more stuff coming in. Yeah, that's what happened. So anyway, what you say, brother? Ancestors laid me down in quarter. I had to. So, but yeah, that picture was there, and I was shocked because of how controversial those men were and are, right? But we haven't forgotten. Well, look, I haven't forgotten Imam Jamil Al-Amin, aka H-Rap Brown. I haven't forgotten. And the fight for that brother still continues, right? Like this is what. And I know I'm all over the place, but this is what I want to say. When we as black people, as a collective, not like any group, but like the collective of black people, when we did not do everything necessary to rally behind our people that were on the front line, right? And I mean full force. I'm talking about like thousands of people at the courthouse type of stuff, money overflowing type of stuff. When we stopped doing that, right? Because remember, when they had the free Huey rallies, hundreds of people were at the courthouse. When we stopped doing that for our people that was on the front line, that's when the war came down to the regular people. We don't ever look at it that way, though, right? See, if Huey's on the front line and they're after Huey, they don't have time to brutalize you and me, because they got to deal with Huey, they got to deal with Bobby, they got to deal with all the other brothers in the Panthers. So the brunt of the assault doesn't come on the people. That's why they were called the vanguard of the revolution. So when the people stop supporting the vanguard, the brunt of the oppression falls upon the people. You see what I'm saying? But we don't understand that because we don't teach our children, because of course they're not going to teach our children. We don't teach our children the purpose of the vanguard, and we don't glorify the warriors. Right? So since we don't do that when it's organized, then somebody has to do it in an unorganized manner, and that's how you get Brother Hinton Jr. Right? He's not part of no organization or nothing like that we know about. He had no criminal record or anything we know about. All we know is he heard that the police had assassinated his son, and that was his legacy, and it was his job to protect his son. And so he didn't take that well. I just put it like that. You know what I'm saying? He just did not take that well. He just like, no, right? It's like, what was the movie with Doc Holliday and them? Tombstone. It's like the movie Tombstone. Y'all remember the movie Tombstone? Remember when Doc Holliday and Wyatt Earp was pinned down, and Doc Holliday was like, no. And he just started saying no. And in his mind, like losing and getting killed out in that bush That just was not gonna happen that day. Sorry, not sorry. If he had to take 100 bullets in order to kill the 20 dudes that were against his 5 dudes, then that's how it was going down. But what was not going to happen is him and his boys were not dying in that bush. That wasn't going to happen, right? Whatever it, however you want to carry it, right? Now you're gonna say, "Hey man, that's a movie and that's fake." Hey, maybe it was fake, but the point is that Doc Holliday said no, and you know what else? Ryan Hinton's father said no. It's not gonna be any singing. It's not gonna be any Attorney Crump is not gonna show up and tell us to make nice, you know what I'm saying, with authorities. We're not gonna discuss how much blood money we're gonna get. He said, y'all can do that. What I'm going to do is find the first person in a uniform and express to them how much I love my son. Now, we can argue about whether it's right, wrong, or indifferent. But you want to know what? None of us know how we would act unless that was our child. I consider, it's easy to sit up here and say, oh man, I would be peaceful, or I would be non-peaceful. It's easy to say that stuff, but hopefully none of us have to face a situation, because you don't know how you react, right? But the reality of the situation is, Mr. Hinton said no. No, not my child. We're not just gonna be deleting my child and then making up a story and nah, nope. So somebody got to pay, right? And I'm not saying he did the right thing or the wrong thing, because people are like, well, the person that he ran over wasn't involved in it. Hey man, I heard somebody say it's like a gang. Right? When Crips see Bloods, they do ask what set you claim. But if the person start throwing up gang signs, then that's it. You know what I'm saying? Once he start throwing up gang signs, the response is you know what I'm saying? The response is the same response that the brother in Virginia gave to somebody kicking in his door. This person is part of a rival gang. And since the days of them slavery by another name, right after Jim Crow, hey, those people have been acting like a rival gang to black people. Let's be honest, as black men, we know good and well anytime a police officer, because again, it don't even have to be a European police officer, because I've been in a situation stopped by police, and the European was relatively calm, and the black dude was like trying to show that he was part of the team or something, and I'm just like, oh, we going to jail tonight. You know what I'm saying? Because the way he was acting, I was like, oh, we going to jail. We going to jail, man. Because this dude is lunching and asking us a bunch of questions, and man, like I remember that feeling. I don't even remember. I was in my 20s. It's just like, that's all I was thinking is, man, we going to jail because of this black dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, if the white dude had been the one acting a fool, I would have took it as what it is. But the fact that it was quote unquote the brother, it's just like, oh man. But fortunately, part of his cooning was to submit to the judgment of the European cop. But still, I mean, you don't know. Let's think, like, here's the thing with these cases. And I am going to play that video of the brother in Virginia because I forgot all about it. Oh, see, yeah, brother. I didn't even think about Tyree Nichols case. That was a bunch of black cops, right? And they were all found innocent. Yeah. Let me put that up. Like let me speak to being the black man in America, right? Generally speaking, during the day, you're like, I should be good. But, not necessarily, because summertime come and you live in the city, yeah, you can get kind of shaky. But this is what I try to get sisters to understand. And really now, violence and stuff is coming to the sisters. If you have a man, this is what you have to understand. Especially you live in an urban environment. In the back of your man's mind, he knows that there is a better than 5% chance of something life-changing happening to him during the day. Car accident, arrest, physical assault, arrest with physical assault. Like, you can be arrested and physically assaulted by by the arresting officer, and possibly you might not make it home. And that's an everyday thing. Now, it may not be in your conscious mind, but it's in your subconscious mind. And here's the thing. Like, all right, I live in an urban environment. Just because I don't have to interact with the police today doesn't mean I'm safe from people who look like me. Even though I'm not looking for any beef with people who look like me, that don't mean they're not looking for beef with me. And that's every day. And then when it's nighttime, you double the percentage. And then depending on what community you in, you double the percentage again. And before you know it, it's like it's 70-30 chance of walking back in your door. Right? That's the life of the black man in the 21st century. So when a black man reacts with extreme violence in a situation because somebody's kicking in your door, or two bigger guys are walking up on you and trying to tell you where you can sit, or something traumatic happens and you react, hey man, this is the reality of the situation. And here's the thing, for the regular brother, Nas got a song called Life We Chose. For the regular brother, this is not the life we chose. You know what I'm saying? For the regular brother, the life he chose? The regular brother chose a life of going to school or going to work and coming home and watching TV or hanging out with his girl or hanging out with his boys shooting basketball. You know what I'm saying? The life you chose is regular stuff. But somehow you don't get the honor of doing regular stuff. Because you never know if you're gonna walk back in your door. And so when somebody breaches that barrier where you think your life is on the line, I mean, I understand. Because what did Ice Cube say? Ice Cube said, I'd rather be judged by 12 than carried by 6. Little Ryan Hinton is never coming home. Whatever the circumstances of the situation was. The video I saw, he's running away from the police, so I don't know what the police are talking about. Right? So, he had a gun. It was him and his boys, and they were sleeping in a car because his cousin didn't pick up the phone, and he couldn't get into his cousin's house or whatever. And because of that, he's lost his life. That should never be a reason for you to lose your life. And people are like, oh, he was in a stolen car. That don't mean he stole the car. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's a ridiculous statement. The stuff I hear people say, I'm like, what are you talking about? It's just so. These people have no empathy for us at all. Like, they find every excuse. But what about Botham Jean? He got shot on his couch. Well, nobody don't want to talk about that part. Right? So anyway, I know I've gone on a tangent. Brother Tony said the car wasn't even stolen. I never thought the car was stolen, to be honest. It never mattered to me. I never thought the car was stolen. I never believed that. I didn't believe none of what they said. And that don't have nothing to do with nothing. You know, these Euros who are anti-black, they have to spin a narrative to justify their barbarity. But Elijah Muhammad said a long time ago, the devil's 100% weak and wicked, and we're not keeping obey the laws of Mayat, which is truth, justice, righteousness, and reciprocity. That's, at some point, we just gonna have to tell the truth. As the old folks used to say, and shame the devil. You know what I'm saying? So, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna play the clip of the Virginia situation because that's the latest thing, and you all may not have seen the report. So I'm gonna play that. I'm gonna play that report now.
He was arrested for second-degree murder, malicious wounding, and firearms charges. Tyler Chase Butler faced a judge this morning. The 27-year-old is ordered to stay in jail without bond after he was accused of shooting and killing 18-year-old Massaponack High senior Michael Bosworth. The sheriff's office says Butler fired shots at Bosworth and two other teenagers because he thought they were breaking into his house along Mackenzie Lane in Fredericksburg. It happened around 3 a.m. Saturday. Here's neighbor Maria Sedlak.
I just woke up and all the house was flashing with blue lights.
Court documents reveal a much different story. They say the two other teens who survived claimed they were playing the Ding Dong Ditch Challenge. It's a TikTok prank where kids try to kick a stranger's front door and run away. According to the detective, he and his friends had hit a couple of doors in the neighborhood. The juvenile is not familiar with the neighborhood that they were in. The juvenile said as they were running from a residence, he and his friends were shot at.
Did they kick on your door, do you know?
Not on ours.
But you know down
other
here.
neighbors, yes.
The case has sparked a big debate in the Spotsylvania community.
I just feel like it was very unfortunate all the way around. I feel sorry for the parents, but I also feel sorry for my neighbors. If someone came, kicking on my door, like front door, back door, wherever door, we would have been protecting our house too.
Bosworth's family didn't want to go on camera, but his stepfather tells WSA 9 he was a kid who loved to play lacrosse. He was getting ready to graduate with aspirations of joining the U.S. Marine Corps.
Butler now has a preliminary hearing scheduled in June. He was assigned a public defender this morning. Meantime, friends of Michael Bosworth held a vigil for him last night with the message, justice for Mikey. In Spotsylvania County, Matthew Torres, WUSA 9.
All right. So that was that. That was I forgot what song I was playing. That was that case. Now the brother is being locked up, and he has a public defender, and so he probably can't make bond, and so he can be his first. I guess maybe his bond hearing is in June, if I heard her correctly. I just don't understand this case. I don't understand how you get a murder charge out of this. Oh, by the way, my bad. Welcome to the Center. I'm your host, DC Radical 1. You can follow me on Instagram at DC.Radical1, on Twitter at DC_Radical_ONE, on OTW2 at DC Radical 1. And please, if you could donate via Cashapp, $ DC Radical 1, so we can continue to do this work. And you can email me at DC.Radical_1 at protonmail.com. And also, let me say this, because I am trying to raise some money this week. All of the video Brother Genie that I shot last year, I'm making all of that available this week, and in honor of Malcolm X Day and Black Liberation Day. So I gotta do a little more editing, and then everything will be available, and I'll just start putting the information in the descriptions on the videos and via YouTube. So with those of you all, I know some of y'all like to get all the Genie stuff that you really didn't have access to, because I'm the only one that had access to it. I'm putting all of that out. So I'll let you all know when, probably by this weekend. So Brother Crow, you said that you said they should have known better. Well, see, I'm gonna tell you something. I don't know where this TikTok stuff comes from. Like who starts these challenges. I believe that those things are psyops. Like, I don't know what intelligence agency it is, but I believe that those things are done by intelligence agencies to just as a test of human behavior, because the stuff doesn't make sense. Like, and every time I look up it, they always originate from TikTok, and it's always something goofy. It's never anything enlightening. I guess the only thing that didn't start with TikTok was the crate challenge thing. That was before TikTok, right? Y'all remember? Y'all know what I'm talking about? That was right around the pandemic, and people climbing up on crates and all this. I don't think that was a TikTok thing, but still. So anyway, and somebody asked the question. Oh, since fondness, does the brother? I don't know if the brother actually has a fund. I didn't look that up because the case is so recent. I don't think so, and I haven't really heard any outcry about it, which is why I wanted to highlight it. So I did highlight it. I had part of the report on Instagram today, and more people are seeing it. So I think as people get it, as the notoriety goes up, and I don't actually know how many people watch that reel. I didn't actually check. As the notoriety goes up, I think people may start looking to support him and may start something for him, because what I find interesting, and I could be wrong because he is young, but I'm like, he had the house out by itself, because I haven't seen any family members. I haven't seen, a girlfriend. I haven't seen anybody. So I don't know. It could be a lawyer. They trying to get lawyered. I don't know what's going on with that. Like, the case just happened, and I haven't tapped in enough to know what's going on. So as I find out more information, I'll put it out via Instagram and YouTube or whatever. So anyway, let's go to, I guess we're going backwards. So we go to what would be the next case? Y'all help me out. So the Ryan Hinton case. All right. So let's deal with this, because this deals with before the brother. This deals with the assassination of Ryan. After fatal police shooting, family of Ryan Hinton says he should still be alive today, which I agree. And NAACP, they got the NAACP involved. And let me say this. Now, Malcolm X years ago, gave us what NAACP. Sister Farnessa said. Let me put this up. Sister Farnessa, you get a free super chat because you are one of the Wrench gang. They raised $1 million for that Karen in the park for calling the child the N-word. Right. Yeah. Hey. I ain't got nothing to say to that. We already know what it is. Now, look at this young man. I can only imagine you steward your son through 18 years, and you think he can ready to go off to college or whatever the case, and this happens, and you just, it's devastating for me to think about. Like I said, I don't know what I would do. Anyway, it says more than 100 people showed up in Mount Airy Forest Saturday night, remembering the life of 18-year-old Ryan Hinton. At the memorial, Diamante Jackson said he would go the rest of his life without his brother. Says, I don't even know how to feel. Jackson said, man, we was real close. That was my little brother, but real soon he turned to my big brother. And let me say this, right? If you got cousins or whatever, before they, Brother Eric Sankoff, I ain't see you step in. If you had like a cousin or something you grew up with and you were bigger than him, and then he had one of them 6-inch growth spurts in the summer, and then maybe another 4-inch one the next summer, you know what I'm saying? And he go from 5 feet to 6 feet, and you like, yo, what the? You know what I'm saying? It's funny because you're like, man, I've been beating this dude up for his whole life, and that, you know what I mean? Now he can dunk on me out here. What's happening? So when the brothers said that, it's just, that's what it made me think of. And it's just, oh man, I can't even read the article. It's so heartbreaking. But he turned 18 12 days before he was gunned down by the police. Said on May 1st, Cincinnati police were investigating a reported stolen car parked at condos in East Price Hill, where 4 teenagers got out and started running. Now, see, here's the whole thing. People saw a car that they didn't recognize, and they reported it stolen. But nobody, I guarantee you, nobody investigated to see if anybody was in the car or any of this stuff. Because I mean, think about it, how many times have we seen the police come out and shoot somebody in their car because they're asleep? Now, how you shoot somebody sleep in their car? Well, what threat is a sleeping person? You know what I'm saying? Y'all remember the police? I don't remember where it was. Y'all remember the police killed that sister sleeping in her car? And people try to justify that. And I'm sitting here like, y'all said the person is asleep in their car. They're not sleeping in your car. They're not sleeping in your house. They're not sleeping in the White House. You know what I'm saying? They're not on the White House lawn. They're sleeping in their car. Am I the only one that remember that case? They shot the sister in her car and tried to justify it. I'm like, the stuff that they try to justify, man, it burns. The old people used to say, I never understood this. You know what I'm saying? Maybe it's something from the Caribbean, but old people used to say, gets my goat. I don't know what that means. But the stuff they try to justify gets my goat. It oh my goodness. Let me compose myself and try to read this article. Let me get back. Yeah. So it says within 6 seconds, an unidentified officer fired 4 or 5 shots, hitting Hinton twice, ultimately ending his life. The officer says Hinton turned to point his gun as he fled between 2 dumpsters. Now, notice what it says. It says within 6 seconds, which means that the police came to assassinate people. Because think about it, 6 seconds. It's like the Tamir Rice thing. The police show up, start shooting, and then start making up excuses. Brother say Ayanna Jones. Man, that case, oh my goodness. That little girl's face was burnt in my mind. That case with I couldn't understand it. I was so, all that stuff, that's what got me back to doing the work. Was all that stuff, all them cases, man. The stuff was back to back to back. They shot that sister, and I think in Chicago, that she wasn't even doing nothing. Like, she wasn't doing nothing. They were just outside hanging out, and the police came up, and it wasn't even shooting at her, and she got killed. Rakia Boyd, right? Y'all remember that? And on and on and on and on. That's why if somebody does something that's extreme or seems extreme, who am I to judge? Because Ryan Hinton's father lived through all that. Right? If his son is 18, that means he's definitely in his 40s. He remembers all of that. He remembers Trayvon. He remembers Ayanna Jones. He remembers all the, I mean, it's so many people. I can't even think of all the names because it is overwhelming. Right? All the people that's been gunned down. Like, people talk about George Floyd, the number of people that was gunned down before George Floyd. Right? Remember, this stuff started during the Obama administration, where the new generation got shaken out of the mythology of racial progress. Because if you can't even breathe, ain't no progress. You know what I'm saying? If you can't walk to the store without being assaulted on your way back, ain't no progress. If you can't sleep in your bed without being shot, ain't no progress. If you can't play video games with your nephew, ain't no progress. If you can't call the police without being shot by the police, ain't no progress. So this, it's like, what did they call it in Haiti? The Phantom of Liberty. It's an illusion. And I just be completely honest. The reason that I was like, I want Trump to win, because I'm like, we are under a spell that we think everything gonna be sweet when Kamala get in. But one thing I know for a fact is it ain't gonna take us long if Trump is in to be like, oh nah, heck no. Right? And here we are. Because I knew there was going to be a segment of people who support Trump who were just going to act a fool. Now, our problem is, unfortunately, a lot of them are law enforcement. But I'm going to tell you this. I'm going to make this prediction. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. Here's my prediction. Right? Y'all listening? My prediction is the next president of the United States will be from a certain ethnic group who I shall not mention, but either Mr. Shapiro or a couple of these other people that are running, they are going to be the president of the United States. And before their term is out, Europeans will finally understand their place. And they're going to come begging black people to help. Watch what I tell you. I can see it. I thought it was going to happen this cycle because of the way things were set up. But I was one step ahead because they really got, at least they thought they had Trump in their pocket. Now all of a sudden Trump seems to be trying to push back against Netanyahu. I don't know what's going on with that. I got to look into that because it could just be Trump being Trump. You know, Trump is a Gemini. Like, you push him too far, and then he just like, you know what? I don't rock with y'all no more. So there's more than likely it's probably not even a policy thing, other than the fact that the one thing he's still down on is he said, I am not going to, he said it. He's like, look, this war with Iran thing, I'm not doing that. And apparently Netanyahu pushed him too far or whatever happened. I don't know. I know that's another show. I know I'm all over the place, but I'm just saying, right? Brother BRN says we should already understand and know how this white supremacist system works. Well, here's the thing. The white supremacist system is over. The only people don't know it is everybody. The white supremacist system been over. Once I started doing the research, like we be talking about white supremacy, the last American president was John F. Kennedy. Every other president has been a slave. Now, y'all looking at me like, what are you talking about? The last real American president was John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Everyone after that has been a slave of the Zionists. All of them. Mr. Bush, Mr. New World Order, Mr. Reagan from Hollywood, Mr. Nixon. Even if Mr. Nixon thought he wasn't, he took him. Remember, Mr. Nixon took America off the gold standard. And so forth and so on. They've all been. See, when you look at Kennedy's history, I mean, Kennedy couldn't even run in today's time because they would look up his old stuff and be like, this guy is what do they call it? Is an anti-Semite. Right? But I digress. I know I'm all over the place tonight, but it is what it is. I'm gonna try to get back focused though. So, back to the article, which I'm not gonna lie, it's give me flashbacks to all these other assassinations of black people. Here's what's crazy. The officer shot 4 or 5 times, hitting our brother twice. That means he could have killed 2 or 3 other people, because that means he missed them. And, you know, as somebody says, you know, says here the cop wasn't threatened, he was running from him. I remember, and this, I don't even know how many years ago. I remember talking to a police officer years ago. I mean, it had to be 25 years ago. And, you know, talking at me, him, and a couple of other people. And they were just, you know, you just talking about what he does. And, you know, one of the other brothers was interested in law enforcement because, you know, we was young. And they were just talking about different stuff and each telling different stories. Now, I'm not gonna lie. At least back then, black police officers have some of the best stories. That don't mean I like black police officers, but if you want to just like, For those of you all who drink, you want to get a nah, that's not why they took him out, brother. They took JFK out because he was against Israel and had always been against Israel. It was Mossad. He was against Israel when he was in the army. He told them they can't have nuclear weapons. They like, nah, we gotta get him out of here. That's why they took him out. That's all that was. If it was up to JFK, he would have. I'm gonna be honest. If it was up to JFK, he might have nuked Israel. Like he was so anti-Israel. You can't even think of nobody being like that nowadays. Like you're not even allowed to think like he thought. He had letters talking about how bad they were when he was in the Navy, before he got into politics. He's like, man, the stuff these people doing now, oh my God, these people, oh my God, horrible, they this and that, and blah, blah, blah. He wrote the stuff to his father and everything. Like AIPAC, if Kennedy was alive, AIPAC wouldn't exist. Oh, none of that. I know, brother. I'm getting back to it. But all of these things are interconnected, right? Because remember, we're talking about the police. Where do the police go to be trained? They go to Israel. Or Israel sends a representative to America to train police officers here. Who does Israel practice their brutality on? On the Palestinians. And then they bring those tactics here to brutalize us. You see what I'm saying? So it's all interconnected, brother. Yeah, I know I'm all over the place, but I'm still coming back to the point. Right? Now, let's get back, because without question, by 10 o'clock, we done. We done for the night. Now, says that, what did the NAACP say? Said they have called on the city to bring in an independent third party to investigate Hinton's passing. And if there was any opportunity where the young man could not have lost his life, that's something we can build on to make sure that's prevented in the future. I'm gonna be honest. What his father did is gonna prevent some things in the future. Says Hinton's father, Rodney Hinton Jr, is currently facing charges from pillage. Well, anyway, from Cincinnati office for aggravated murder. Anyway, aggravated murder and the alleged vehicular homicide of Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Larry Henderson the day after. Henderson was a 33-year-old veteran of the force. Well, can we be honest? And this might have been what he was thinking. He found some type of way found a 33-year-old 33-year veteran. You want to know what Mr. Hinton was thinking? He's like, this old guy has been on this force for decades. There's nowhere in the world that he hasn't done something unseemly. That I'm sure it's, what I'm saying? Remember, he didn't get no rookie or nothing. He found some old guy in a uniform and said, you know what? I'm your Huckleberry. Again, man, none of us will know how we'll react until we're in that situation. Right? But from his perspective, the guy was wearing the same gang colors as the person that took out his son. And you know how they say, it's on sight. And it was on sight. Sister Finance, I haven't even heard that. I haven't heard that rumor about somebody else driving the car. I haven't heard that at all. So this is the first I heard it. So I don't know anything about that. Right? So Oh, you know what? I haven't played none of it. You know what? All right. Since we supposed to have been talking about Mr. Hinton, but we are talking about him now. I am going to play the video of his family and I believe it's his older brother, talking about the situation and why he was where he was. So let me run this clip real quick.
He was arrested for second-degree murder, malicious wounding, and firearms charges. Tyler Chase Butler faced a judge this.
Tanya, a very emotional news conference wrapping up. You had family members multiple times breaking down into tears. It's obvious that this is still very fresh and very painful for them. We heard from attorneys representing the estate of Ryan Hinton, along with his own family, grandfather, grandmother, little sister, cousin. They wanted to share more about how they are remembering Hinton after his death. But the press conference began with attorneys offering condolences to the family of retired Hamilton County Sheriff's Deputy Larry Henderson. They consider his death another tragic loss. Family called the media here to speak on the life of Ryan Hinton, but also to raise questions after reviewing body camera footage from his death. Their main question is this: was the officer justified in using deadly force?
If I seen in the video about my grandson, I seen two scared people. I seen the officer scared and I seen my grandson scared. So it's an unfortunate incident that happened. So that's all I seen. It was like, I didn't see the police there trying to kill. No. What I seen was two persons made a mistake. My grandson made a mistake being there, and the officer, he was trying to get back to his family too.
We're also learning more new information tonight. Hinton's family says he attended Don High School before it shut down. He was not in school at the time of his death. Family and attorneys didn't dispute otherwise that Hinton was sitting in a stolen car or had a gun on him at the time of the incident. His cousin says, however, he should not have been in that stolen car because he was locked out of the house the night before.
I was asleep. Ryan, I'm so sorry. This was never supposed to happen to you. Ever. I'm so sorry, Ryan. I'm so sorry, Ryan. Just know he won't supposed to be there.
Like we said, a very, very emotional press conference that wrapped up about an hour ago. The family is asking the public not to rush to judgment. Their attorneys are reviewing every report and angle of the incident they can get their hands on. At that point, attorneys say they will announce what, if any, steps they will take. We also asked about Ryan's father, Rodney Hinton Jr. Family did not want to take many questions regarding him, though we can tell you he faces aggravated murder charges, and he will be back in court tomorrow for a bond hearing. He's currently in custody at the Claremont County Jail. We're live in Corryville. Connor Steffen, WCPO 9 News.
All right. So, oh, wait a minute, wrong music. My bad. Hey, man, my apologies, man. I'm gonna just be honest. The people in the family that are gonna be cooning, don't let them touch the mic. And I didn't, they showed the video. I forgot that they showed the video. That young man was not no threat to that police officer whatsoever. Like, I don't even know how you form your lips to say two people made a mistake. It was no mistake. See, I'm gonna tell you what it usually is. This is what it usually is. The police officers are usually fat, out of shape, ill-trained. They got too much equipment. They can't move. And since they can't do that, and most of them can't fight, okay? I know people in law enforcement. And I'm not saying everybody, because there's some dudes that they can fight because they train and they want to be cops, they want to be super cop, and they got hands like that. But a lot of these dudes, no, none of that. Like I said, they fat, they out of shape, they ill trained, they ill prepared, they scared, and some of them just want to get their hands on or bag a black guy. You see what I'm saying? But that young man was no threat to that police officer. I don't care what you're doing. Brother, you got ripped off. Said, don't forget to mention the fact that they only hire people of low intelligence. Yeah. And they have a tendency to hire people that used to be suckers when they was young. You know, people that was suckers that was bullied be on get back time the rest of their life. That's why you have some of these dudes that couldn't get women back in the day spend all their time on the internet talking bad about women. Because they couldn't get women back in the day. You know what I'm saying? Brother Kevin says, as long as those attorneys are encouraging these people to have press conferences, it's not a good look for the victims. Man, once somebody assassinates your family member, like, what is there to be nice about? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, and nothing's gonna bring that person back. So anyway, man. But once the Crumps and the Sharptons and those people show up, man, we already know what it is. Just Vanessa says they're going to have a press conference. You only allow an attorney to speak. That's what they're hired for. Yeah, I mean they're your counsel. They're supposed to be your counsel and your representative. And since Vanessa says the FBI already knew that white supremacists are on the force, yet the police chiefs never moved them. So to me, they're complicit. Yeah. I mean, there's I have nothing to add to that. Yeah, I mean, they did those studies years ago. And brother said, Rodney's father needed to stop speaking. Man, yeah. So, see, we don't even talk about these dynamics that a situation like this can happen. You could be, you're going to have different people in your family. Some people, church folk, some people, they're not about that, like somebody's father could, just because somebody's father, is in their 40s, they could be a former street dude, right? So they could be thinking like, man, nah, it's not how we get down with this. So, man, that. Let me just be honest, man. If you're scared, please stop talking. You know what I'm saying? If you're scared of them folks, please stop talking. I mean, I get it. But, hide your cowardice. That's all I'm saying. Black Renaissance said this why they destroyed NFAC and had brother Oprah behind bars. Yeah, no question. And the whole NFAC thing, I was trying to tell people, I'm like, if you have something personal with the brother, don't make that public. Support him publicly and contact him privately. And a lot of people kind of went at the brother negatively, and hey man, he was doing something. He was able to mobilize a large number of people, and you got to respect that. Now, I've spoken for years on the difference between organization and mobilization, right? he never got a chance to organize that, and I don't believe he had the skills to organize it, but he was able to mobilize it. And being completely honest, they saw that, and they saw it as a threat, because if you could transform that mobilization to organization and have cells in different cities to deal with these situations, we might not be having this discussion right now. Or Mr. Hinton might have been part of a cell of other people they'd been working with. So, I mean, one thing we got to do is, when people stand up and show an ability to mobilize our people, if they're doing it for a good cause, we gotta get out of our egos and jealousy and envy, because to me, a lot of it was like jealousy and envy, because a lot of people were like, man, who was this dude? I didn't know who he was either, but when I saw he was able to do, I was like, wait, I gotta respect it. You know what I'm saying? Because I at that time I wasn't able to do it. Would be even harder to do now. Right? In this environment, with our mentality and how we think and what's going on, right? Let's be honest. A lot of brothers are spending too much time talking bad about black women to organize and do anything real. We too cowardly. Just be completely honest with it. It's easier to turn on the mic and talk bad about black women than it is to deal with them folks. It's just being completely honest. I heard about, I can't remember, I can't remember if it was Dr. Khaled or somebody else. I just remember a brother saying that you don't even want to use harsh language against these people. Don't even want to talk bad about them. Right? Anyway, oh, you know what? Nah, I got another clip before I get to Karmelo, and I ain't mean to, for the Karmelo thing, I ain't mean to use up all this time, but because we haven't really dealt with Rodney Hinton, but I do got a clip dealing with his situation, because that's something we need to check out. So yeah, we're gonna check out this clip real quick.
As he is walking into the courtroom right now, if we're going to be able to take this live at this moment.
Have a seat. Have a seat.
Okay, so let's try to armchair quarterback what we believe is going on here right now. So Hinton was escorted by police from Claremont County into the courtroom right here. There was some sort of commotion right outside, with police officers then quickly escorting Hinton back out, likely for his own safety. His attorney remaining in the courtroom there with the judge. So this is, of course, the man accused of hitting and killing that retired sheriff's deputy, making his no bond appearance. Okay, now we're listening outside.
So obviously words being exchanged right there between...
Words that we can't put on TV, so we need to kill the mic there for just a little bit.
Right, but you're still taking a live look. So this is just outside, kind of giving you a perspective here. This is just outside of Room A. So this is down in the Hamilton County Courthouse there. You can see, obviously, a number of sheriff's deputies. They were there on Saturday lined up. They're there today lined up as well. And now at this point, obviously, you know, folks very emotional over this
very
case.
High in this.
So they did have to remove Hinton at this point. And if you recall, Hinton actually, as we mentioned a couple of minutes ago, is being housed in the Claremont County Jail because of security reasons, because of these tensions that are likely, I mean, still occurring. This is a live look. This is not even recorded video. This is what we're looking at live. So obviously what they're going to have to do, at least remove the people who are getting too emotional right now. However, I'm not sure if they're then going to bring Hinton back.
They may. I believe that this is very classic police work, what they're doing here. You notice the officers remaining calm. It's a very tense situation, trying to allay any fears of anyone involved here, and likely escorting that gentleman out of the hallway so they can speak with him further and try to de-escalate the situation here and calm everybody down so they can move forward with what is a legal proceeding, the no bond hearing.
Now, I wanted y'all to see that for one reason. I wanted y'all to hear the lie of this person talking about, oh, that's classic police work, de-escalating. No, it wasn't. It was the police attempting to intimidate Mr. Hinton and Mr. Hinton's brother. I believe that's his brother. The tall, dark-skinned brother who was intimidating the police. See, that's what was happening. He was not there for no shenanigans, and if anything was going to happen to his brother in that courtroom, it was going down. So basically, his stance was, anything happen to him, anybody standing next to me is getting it. That period, end of discussion. Ain't no talking, right? So again, everybody ain't playing. Everybody in this family not playing, right? So the idea of, oh, the police de-escalated. Nah, the police were scared. That's all to it. Because they didn't want no smoke. Because then you're going to have to shoot the man in the courthouse. Now, how you explain that? You see what I'm saying? Yeah. Because they don't want no smoke, man. You know what I'm saying? See, that's the type of brother that I would like to have. Somebody that's like, that's a ride or die. You're like, hey, how bad is it? Hey, it's pretty bad. You're like, okay, I'm on my way. Nah, you ain't gotta come. It don't matter. I'm already in the car. You know what I'm saying? You're like, if we're going down, we're going down together. It is what it is. So I just wanted to show that just because some of the family members is bowing down and kissing the feet of them folks, other parts of the family is like, nah, not having it, right? And so that goes to the theme of the show, the question. You know what I'm saying? Are brothers tired? Some people just tired, right? So anyway, let me get to young brother Karmelo, because I'm not going to be able to dedicate the time to him that I need to. But let's start off with this real quick. So, because this goes to show how people act. It says Frisco track meets stabbing judge is the victim of doxing. The FBI is investigating. Now, I haven't heard actually anything about the FBI finding anyway. But anyway, it says people have been publishing the personal address of the Collins County judge who agreed to lower Karmelo Anthony's bond. The process of doxing or publishing a person's private information with malicious intent is illegal in Texas. Those responsible could face criminal charges. And so it says, what is doxing? Says the process of searching and publishing private information about a person with malicious intent. And the reason they did this is because the judge lowered his $1 million bond, and she lowered it to $250,000. So it's not like let's just be honest. It's not like she lowered it to $10, right? It's just, you know what I'm saying? She lowered it. This is a 17-year-old who has no criminal record, who isn't going anywhere. And This is how bold these people are. Remember, these are people that tell us about law and order and respecting the law and respecting due process and all that. They going after the judge in the case. So if they're going after the judge, what you think they'll do to regular people? Right? Now, I just want to bring that up because I haven't heard a lot of people talk about it. Now, it says our main priority is ensuring the judge's safety and appropriate security measures have been implemented. So this, this is like the Joker in Batman. Remember the Joker was sending his Joker card to the mayor and to the judge and everything. The next thing you know, cars were blowing up and all types of wild stuff. Like this is the type of behavior I'm talking about. This is the judge. This is not Karmelo or his family. This is the judge. So if people don't respect the judge, what respect do you think they got for him or his family? It's just fun. As I said, there's a post on Facebook of Urugu putting a bounty on Karmelo's head. He wants to hire a hitman. This is the atmosphere. And so this is why brothers is not taking no chances. Because this is the atmosphere. This is the behavior. So if two big burly Europeans walk up on you and start bullying you and start telling you what to do, this is why brothers are like, judged by 12 or carried by 6. Right? Because they trying to bully the judge. I'm just random black guy. You know what I'm saying? If the judge can't get any respect, what respect is random black guy gonna get? Why wait until you're overwhelmed in an assault when you can just tell somebody you better back up off? Because, and if they don't, if they don't heed the warning, whose fault is that? If a car is coming and somebody says get out the street and you say for what, and then you get ran over, is it the person that warned you's fault, the car's fault, or your fault? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, how's it my fault? You know what I'm saying? Because I'm trying to keep breathing. That's the object of the game, to keep breathing. So, and then I wanted to get the local paper on this. This is from when it first happened. He said, I did it. Texas teen charged with murder and track meet stabbing, claims self-defense. Says a Texas student athlete who allegedly stabbed another at a track meet admitted to doing so in self-defense, police records show. Centennial High School student Karmelo Anthony, 17, has been charged with first-degree murder after. Now think about first degree means premeditated. That may be a mistake, but we shall see. After allegedly stabbing Austin Metcalf in the heart at a high school track meet at Frisco Independent School District's Kuykendall Stadium. That's weird. Metcalf, also 17, was a student at Memorial High School, located 3 miles north of the crime scene. The altercation between Metcalf and Anthony occurred around 10 a.m. Police say the two were involved in a disagreement over a seat at the track meet before Anthony wielded a knife and stabbed Metcalf. I heard it wasn't even actually a knife, but I'm not sure. Athletic trainers told first responders Metcalf was not conscious and not breathing, according to the arrest warrant affidavit. First responders performed life-saving measures on the wounded victim, from CPR to blood administration, but the team did not make it says, I did it. Defendant told school resource officer. I was protecting myself. Anthony said, unprovoked when Cortez told him to keep his hands in the air. The officer then communicated others that he had the alleged suspect in custody. I'm not alleged, I did it. Cortez conducted a search and found no weapon on Anthony. The affidavit states that while walking to the police vehicle with Cortez on another officer, Anthony was emotional. He put his hands on me. I told him not to. Another officer at the scene described Anthony as crying hysterically. Once the suspect was inside the vehicle, Cortez noticed fresh blood on his left hand. Is he going to be okay? Anthony allegedly asked from the back seat. Officer Allison Ricci, who assisted Cortez, reported Anthony asked if he could be considered for self-defense. When first responders tried to save Metcalf under a nearby tent, other investigators at the scene began looking for a knife they heard Anthony had used to stab Metcalf. Investigators found the knife in the stands. Says investigators spoke to over 24 people who saw what happened, including a Memorial High School track member. One witness told authorities that he was sitting under a Memorial High School tent with the team while Metcalf and Anthony were sitting nearby. Anthony was sitting under the team's tent when Metcalf told him he needed to move, the witness said. Says Anthony grabbed his bag, opened it, reached inside, and proceeded to tell Metcalf, touch me and see what happens. Metcalf touched Anthony, who then told Metcalf to punch him to see what happens, the witness says. Metcalf grabbed Anthony to tell him to move again, and then allegedly Anthony pulled out the knife, stabbed Metcalf, and ran away. Listen. Listen, man. How many chances did he give this dude? How many warnings did he give him? If this is the what's the word? If this is how the events played out, if these witness accounts are correct, touch me and see what happens. He touches him. He say, all right, punch me and see what happens. And then he did it. What are we talking about? At what point, again, everybody ain't playing. How many chances did he give him before anything started? He like, man, go ahead, just leave me alone, cuz. Then, see, because what's being left out is we're not hearing what Metcalf said. And they're leaving out the part because it was him and another boy initially. It wasn't just him. Right? Then they say he put his hands on him, which is assault. As brother, you got ripped off said. And then the reaction to that was what happened. Right? So this is a case to me of what the young people call F around and find out. Because everybody's not playing. Now, the part that we don't know is we don't know the racial dynamics of the school and of the event. Because let's be real, depending on the city and the area, you could know that you're going to an area where you're not welcome as a black person, but it is an athletic event. And you're there with your team, or you're there waiting for your team, or you're there to scout the other team, or whatever the case may be, or you might just be there because you enjoy that particular athletic event. That doesn't give anybody the right to assault you or be able to regulate where you can sit or any of this other stuff. And see, I didn't know that he had warned him multiple times, gave him multiple chances, and then, hey man, you're not going to put your hands on me. And if you do, You're gonna be going to the hospital. And unfortunately, for everyone involved, he didn't even get to the hospital. He just bypassed the hospital straight to the morgue. Right? But hey, everybody ain't playing. If you're in Texas, you may remember what's the brother that they killed, that Dr. Collar went down and rode for the brother, right? You may have heard those stories and just say, oh no, I'm not going out like that. James, yeah, thank you, brother. James Bird. Not gonna be James Bird today, man. I'm not gonna be Trayvon. I'm not gonna be Mike Brown. I'm not gonna be none of these folks. Judged by 12 instead of being carried by 6. It's just fun. As I said, if Karmelo started it, they would have immediately released the footage to justify putting him in prison. Absolutely. So this is what I'm gonna say to non-black people. Y'all probably won't listen to this, but if you happen to listen to it, this is what I have to say. Hey man, just leave us alone, man. We tired. The economy sucks. Frustrated, irritated. Summer ain't even started yet. We got people in our own community shooting up stuff. You know what I'm saying? To use one of white people's terms, we a little ornery right now. So simply just leave us alone. We know a lot of y'all scared of us anyway, so just leave us alone. We just trying to make it to the next day. God's untruth. A lot of black people just trying to, a lot of black men especially, just trying to make it to the next day. Leave us alone. And for those folks that want to be over there and mess with their women and all this stuff, and the Shannon Sharp crew and all that, hey man, in this days and time, you on your own out here. Don't call us. We too busy trying to see how we can help, Mr. Hinton and Mr. I believe the brother's name, Mr. Butler in Virginia. If I'm messing his name up, I apologize. And young Karmelo, we too busy trying to figure out how we help them folks. If we can help them, if we can help ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So if you over there rolling around in the snow and you come up missing, or they try to accuse you of doing this, that, and the third, hey, you on your own. Can't do nothing for you. Can't advocate for you. Can't talk for you. We can't do nothing for you. Because it's real out here. And the people that's just not taking it no more, we got to ride with them. Sorry, not sorry. Baba Rudy say, speak the warning, give the warning, some will survive. Supreme Wisdom lesson say, speak the warning, wicked from his wicked ways. That's where we at in the ball game. So again, I'm your host, DC Radical 1. This is the center. You can follow me on Instagram at dc.radical1. You can follow me at OTW2 at DC Radical 1. You can follow me on Twitter at DC Radical _ONE. And you can donate to the channel via Cashapp, $ DC Radical 1. And if you are you're interested in some of the content, some of the footage that I have from Brother Genie, or some of my lectures from previous years, you can contact me by email, dc.radical_1 at protonmail.com. Each right now, each video $25 for this month, which is a good deal because I realized that we got like some 3.5 with Q&R 4-hour lectures, and I didn't even really realize until I was editing them and adding in stuff and all that oh wow, I should actually be charging people more for this. So that's where we are. So with that, I am going to begin to close out. I thank you all for listening. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Hopefully you already hit the like button. Share this with people who agree with it. Share it with people who disagree with it. And maybe they will come to a different conclusion. I will definitely be on again this week. I'm not exactly sure what day, so it will be announced excuse me, via Instagram, and you should get the notifications. Brother, you got ripped off before I go. Let me know, how early do you get the notifications? I know there's a half-hour notification, but as soon as the live stream is set up, do you get it then, or does it just come into your feed? Because I know you got all your notifications on. And if you already subscribe, hit notifications all so that you all are aware, because I do try to put them up like hours in advance now, but I doesn't mean that I don't know how it works. So okay, brother, you got ripped off. I guess he didn't hear me. Anyway, you can let me know. You can let me know after the show. So that, brothers and sisters, thank you all for listening. Again, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. With that, I say a BB for ODA and straight black pride. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Also follow us on our other social media platforms. On Instagram, we're at dc.radical1. On Twitter, we're at dc_radical_ONE. And the Cashapp is $DCRadical1. Again, thank you for subscribing. A BB for ODA and straight black pride.